All your favorite wrestling shows rolled into one. Welcome to the WeBook It podcast. Let's start the show.
Yo, what's up, WeBook It fam? This is your boy Big Daddy C coming at you with another episode of the All Elite Recap Show, where we break down all of the events from AEW Dynamite. Kicking off the show, we had MJF, who is now the new CMLL World Light Heavyweight Champion. He basically opened up the show taunting Hangman Adam Page and Mark Briscoe, while also, flaunting his new championship. First match of the night, we had Jon Moxley versus Speedball Mike Bailey. This is a pretty solid match. Mike Bailey held his own. Had some moments where it looked like he could have got the victory, but ultimately Jon Moxley would get the win. There was a moment managed to get the win with the paradigm shift. Is it still called that? Is it still called it? I think it's still called a paradigm shift. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. He defeated him in this match. There was a moment where Darby Allin did make an appearance. He basically kidnapped Wheeler Yuta, who was trying to, cause a distraction in the match, as well as Marina Shafir. And then Moxley was kind of distracted in that moment. And Mike Bailey tried to take advantage. It looked like he was going to get a good roll-up win, but ultimately got put in a rear naked choke. And then ultimately Moxley turned that into a paradigm shift DDT for the win. Like I said, pretty solid match. Moxley needed some momentum, especially dealing with the whole Darby Allin situation. So I can't wait for that match for them two to link up. So we'll see what happens there. Let me see. Darby Allin did. So he basically put Wheeler Yuta in a body bag, which he was in the parking lot, looked like he was going to run him over. And but Moxley, kind of pulled him out the way before that could happen. They unzipped the body bag. Basically, there was a note that was taped to Wheeler Yuta's head, marked Forbidden Door, basically, challenging Jon Moxley. So I can't wait for that match. Next up, we had a Forbidden Door TBS Championship four-way qualifier. So basically, this was a qualifying match for the Fatal Four-Way for the TBS Championship. During this match, basically had Billie, Starkz, Alex Windsor, Queen Aminata, and Skye Blue. During this match, Toni Storm made sure Athena could not save Billie Starkz during this. Eventually Alex Windsor would catch would get the win with a small package. After the match, Mercedes Moné made an appearance. Basically, she was taunting Windsor with the TBS Championship. While Toni Storm got in the ring, Athena will catch her with the old face, while the CEO laid out Windsor with a backstabber. So that's pretty much how that segment ended there. Can't wait to see what happens with Toni Storm and Athena, as well as Alex Windsor in this four-way match. So we'll see who the other two contestants will be. Next up we had let's see here. Next up we had a segment with the Don Callis family, basically celebrating the new TNT champion Kyle Fletcher. This is the typical Don Callis promo. yeah, mainly they did give the time to Kyle Fletcher. So, basically he's pretty much flaunting his new championship. Basically telling everybody to get used to it because he's going to hold the title for a very long time. And during this, Don Callis presented Kyle Fletcher with a piece of artwork as tribute. Basically, it was a nice, as an artist himself, me. I got a bachelor's in visual arts, so I appreciate great art when I see it, even though this is kind of weird. So basically, the art piece was Kyle Fletcher doing his little pose with the title, but it also had Don Callis, with like a little see-through shirt on, muscles and all that other shit. But he was holding the title, like they were basically holding the title across each other's bodies, which is weird as fuck, but it is what it is. But for the most part, in terms of the actual art piece itself, the design and all that other shit, it was pretty solid. So I appreciate that. Like I said, we're in the era of the proto star, and this dude is going to be, this man is going to be shot straight to the moon. Even after this reign is over, I could see him being AEW World Champion down the line. I do want to see him and Ospreay link up one more time, man. Hell, give me 2 or 3 more matches between these two. The former best friends. So I would not mind seeing those two link up again. Hell, it could be for that championship. Once Ospreay comes back, he could be in line and challenge for that TNT championship. So we'll see what happens there. Next up, we had backstage interview. We had Cope basically announcing, he did get asked about Christian and his situation with Nick Wayne and the crew. And Cope basically said, well, Edge, keep saying I'm calling him Edge on this show. Edge basically said that, it's like Christian didn't learn his lesson. He gave like a half-ass apology. It wasn't really sincere. So, he still got a lot to, work on in that regard. But he said, as it pertains to him and FTR, he said, he acknowledges that we got the ban in place, the restraining order. But he said that he talked to Tony Khan and he was granted a match against Stokely Hathaway for next week on Dynamite. And that if FTR happens to interfere at any point, that restraining order that they have will be null and void. So can't wait to see how that happens. What turns out with that match. And as a response, FTR tried to hype up Stokely. Basically saying, Edge, you don't want this work, man. We, hey, look, we. You better chill out. We want you. We trying to take it easy on you. We want you to go back home to your kids and wife and all that other shit. But Stokely, he wasn't trying to hear none of that shit. He's like, man, he's like, I'm not a wrestler. He's like, I'm short. He's like, I'm hurt. I'm injured. I can't get no holes. I've been fighting all my life. So it was a funny ass segment in my opinion. But yeah. So he said that basically he was talking trash about Edge and his family and said some crazy shit. I think he called his children some juvenile delinquents and said something about Beth Phoenix's her look. But yeah, so Edge gonna kick some ass next week just off the fact that he said something about his family and his wife and his kids. So Stokely, RIP in advance, my brother. RIP in advance. In advance. Oh my God. Next up, we had a World Tag Team Eliminator tournament. The Young Bucks versus Brodido. Whoever wins this match goes on to face FTR in the finals. And then whoever wins that finals goes against the Hurt Syndicate for the AEW Tag Team Championships. So this match was pretty. Before the match, you had the Young Bucks basically demanding respect from the production and the ring announcer Justin Roberts. They've been fucking with their entrance over the last month or so after they lost against Ospreay and Swerve. And so so they've been messing up the names, the pyro, the video packages, all that shit. They've been messing up all of that shit. And so this week they had like a little, normally they have like a little thing that rises when to like reveal them. That it only rose like about like a third of the way up, and they basically had to like crawl up under it, and it was weird as hell, man. They but it was like some like weird, like cheesy at that. Justin Roberts still was fucking up with the names and shit. Uh, Basically saying they weren't no jobbers and shit like that. So it was hilarious. And they were listed as Max and Jeremy, basically kind of doing a callback to their Generation Me days in TNA. But yeah, so obviously in the ring, they're gonna do what they do. They nearly won with the Meltzer driver on Brodido, but Brody King will recover from a series of super kicks just enough to break it up. Brodido would eventually win. He nearly won off the X knee and the 21 plex, but Matt would end up breaking it up. But ultimately they won the match. Ultimately, Brodido will win the match with their little finisher where he does the kick 450 flat or 450 splash or whatever it is. So they won with that, and they will be facing FTR in the finals. Whoever wins that, like I said before, goes against the Hurt Syndicate for the tag team championships. Next up, we had Swerve, another segment, Swerve Strickland, basically, kind of going at Okada, basically promising to defeat him. He says he respects him, but he doesn't really fear him. There's not much to try to sell this match. These two guys are cold. These two guys are cold-blooded in the ring. So I'm ready for this battle. At this point, it's just, we're going to see what kind of action we're going to see with these guys prior to that match. We're going to get some brawls. We're going to get some heated promos or what. But I know one thing is for certain. With Okada being in the Don Callis family, Don Callis is going to have a lot to say before we get to Forbidden Door. So we'll see what happens there. The Hurt Syndicate did promise to hurt FTR or Brodido at Forbidden Door. MJF was trying to clear some things up with MVP, but instead got a third thumbs down. Basically told him, "Hey, your ego's too huge, man. Like, it's all ever since you got in the Hurt Syndicate. It's been I, not we. It's like we hurt people, not I hurt people." And he's like, but as a last, he's like, as last act of kindness, we gonna let you live and pursue your world heavyweight championship dreams. But he said, just make one thing clear, like, I am not rooting for you to succeed in that feat. Because once you do, if you do happen to win that championship, Bobby Lashley will be coming for you for that championship, and it's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be business. It's going to be it's going to be completely personal. So MJF was not too pleased with those remarks. MJF, I see him winning the championship down the line. And I do believe him and Bobby Lashley will be locking it up for that championship when that happens. So there was another segment after that where Willow Nightingale interrupted Queen Aminata's interview, trying to encourage her. Instead, Chris Statlander would get involved and threw shreds of paper at Willow. So a little petty segment there for the masses. Next up, we had our main event. We had MJF versus Mark Briscoe. Mark Briscoe pretty much had MJF on the ropes throughout this match. A lot of physicality. We know the rivalry these two have had for quite some time. And so MJF did gain an opening and an advantage after dodging an outside froggy bow and sending Briscoe through a table. Briscoe barely made the 10 count, but MJF will catch him with the heat seeker for 3. It was kind of strange because Briscoe did manage to get his foot on the ropes before the 3 count, but the ref did not see it. So it's one of those unfortunate situations there. After the match, MJF will bloody Briscoe further with the diamond ring. Hangman Adam Page will come out there to kind of make the save, and then him and MJF will proceed to brawl for about a good 3 to 5 minutes or so. Security out there breaking it up. It was just a lot of chaos. So yeah. But this match against Briscoe is kind of like it was a grudge match. Mark Briscoe did make a lot of serious threats last week. So really, this match could have been. They could have just had this be a street fight instead of a regular match. It definitely would have, given us a little bit more. But nevertheless, MJF did get his win. So yeah, that was pretty much the main event there. It could be a triple threat match between these 3 because Hangman did tell Briscoe that he hoped that it would be him that he faces for the championship as opposed to MJF. Now, MJF could, like I said, they could do a triple threat, but now MJF basically has his championship match against Hangman Adam Page at Forbidden Door without having to cash in his opportunity. He basically earned it in this match. So it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird, man. You got to earn your way, even though you got to essentially a money in the bank cash in a way. But it's I don't think MJF is going to win. I think he's going to lose. He's going to lose this match, and then somewhere down the line, I feel like he's going to use that contract to try to cash in at some point out of the blue. So we'll see what will happen with that. So that's been the AEW this week's episode of AEW Dynamite, and that brings us to the end of the All Elite recap show for this week. Thank you all who has been, supporting the podcast. I'm going to get this uploaded, and thanks for always going to watch this once it gets uploaded to YouTube. I'm going to get this set up to be live streamed on Twitch as well. So be on the lookout for that. We got the SmackDown Throwdown tomorrow. Probably won't be able to do that since I'll be able to. I'll be volunteering at the Illinois State Fair tomorrow. So, but I'll try to get the show recorded once I get back. But yeah, so I'll be on there, probably me and Fritos, if he doesn't take care of it already. But yeah, so and then we got the Sunday pod coming up on on this Sunday around like 8:00 or so. So be on the lookout for that. We will be talking about this big news with WWE and ESPN making this deal, for the new streamer app, the direct to streaming or whatever it is called, that's going to be dropping in a few months. But the deal starts next year, where all of the PLEs will be streamed on the ESPN app, or which new app they coming out with, $30 a month. So yeah. Oh man, it's like we're going back to the old days, where we technically got to pay to watch pay-per-views now, like damn near full price. Now back in the day, it was like what, $50 to $60, depending on the pay-per-view. I know like regular pay-per-views are probably around like 40. And then like pay-per-views like for like WrestleMania, SummerSlam, Royal Rumble, those were like kind of like in the 50, 60 range. But yeah, I'm not too pleased about this new deal. Let me know what you guys' thoughts are in regards to that in the comments. I think collectively a lot of us are not happy. We're pissed off about this shit. And my main concern outside of the price is like, how is this going to affect the content, the rating of, of what we get? Is it going to be, are we going back to PG because it's ESPN, ESPN owned by Disney, the mouse always rules. So what is it going to affect the content? I fear that it will. I hope not. We'll see what happens. But yeah, so once again, it's Big Daddy C signing out. Thanks for tuning in to the All Elite Recap Show. Last but not least, keep sharing, subscribing to the podcast. We're trying to get to 2,000 subscribers on YouTube. And then obviously continue to follow us on social media and get the word spread out about us. We still novices in this thing, but we've been over a year now. So, we just gonna keep this thing going as long as we can. Wrestling never dies, and we will never die. So, at least not the podcast. We're gonna keep this thing going as far as we can. But yeah, so last but not least, keep those booking pencils sharp. Keep on booking. Peace.